I wouldn't mess with that guy up there. He looks bigger than you.
That's David. He's bringing in some trees now.
I am the log cutter that runs one of the crews.
Okay.
Yep.
And he's here to show us how he's going to cut down trees that are going to be used on our tables at Chagrin Valley Custom Furniture. You can't take any tree you want here.
No,
you have to take certain trees.
These are only the marked trees. It's a
Okay.
forester went through and marked them.
Oh, a forest? Is this a regulation?
It's a good thing to do. If you don't thin it out, you'll have areas that'll grow too thick. If you look kind of two different ways here. If you look over in here, that's more open, it has bigger trees. Here it has smaller trees, it's thicker in there. Well, if you open that up, sunlight can get in. These smaller trees will grow fast.
Okay.
Then you just you keep your woods for keep on doing it, harvesting in every.
Okay.
It could be 10 years, it could be 20 years. It's however the homeowner feels that he wants it, or the
So
forester
if you
recommends.
were to harvest in this area today, you might not come back for 10 more years.
Probably.
Okay.
Yep.
So you try to
Yep.
keep it so your sustainability, so this forest will still keep growing forever.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's let the games begin.
All right.
That went down too easy. So this is what it is. Chagrin Valley comes out and inspects where our trees are coming from. We're looking at the sustainability of the woods we're taking them out of. And now it's going to be somebody's beautiful table, and somebody will be able to enjoy that tree for many generations to come. Aaron, thank you. Let me shake your hand.
You bet, not a problem.
From here, we're going to Trumbull County Hardwoods, where they have 6 different sawmills, and we're going to watch them cut slabs. Here we are at our sawmill. This is where we get our wood cut. As you can see, these are logs that were brought in from the forest. This will be somebody's table. Hopefully, it'll be yours. Here it is, piece of walnut. Beautiful, beautiful log. Well, here we are. This is ground zero, where we're going to take a log that was just taken from the forest, and it's going to be cut into slices that are going to be 2.5 inches thick. And from there, we're going to go to the kiln, and we're going to show you how they dry it. Down here is an amazing selection of walnut wood that will be used on somebody's dining table, and this will be a gorgeous piece of wood. And I'm excited to see who this customer is going to be. These are walnut slabs. Go upwards of about 15 to 16 feet long. And as you see, there is a stick between each layer of slab so air can get in there, and this can air dry for the proper 8 months to a year. If you do not air dry it properly, when you go to dry it in the kiln, you'll have it split. So that's why this has to be air dried properly, then the kiln. This is the furnace. It makes all the heat for the kiln. And as you see, they're using leftover wood, scrap wood. This is the drying kiln. This is where wood is put in here from upwards of 3 to 6 months in order to get all the moisture content out of the wood. The goal is to keep a steady temperature of 140 degrees in here for like the full 3 months that the wood would be drying, the slabs that you would need for your table. This has got to be done perfect, and each species of wood requires a different amount of time in the kiln. The reason why I like to shop for slabs here is because there's all kinds of wood here, ranging from maple, cherry, walnut, ash, hickory, and all kinds of beautiful species that are indigenous to this Ohio area, which is one of the richest wood areas in the world. They organize all their slabs into species and size, and we're able to bring our customers in here. We send them pictures, very good pictures, and we point out, once we send them the pictures, we get the customer online, and we look at the pictures together. I point out the things that I like and dislike about the slabs, and they're able to pick what they want by the size, by the length, the width, the species, and do you want a lot of distress or a little bit of distress, whatever you want. It's in these racks, and then we find the right piece for you. These are 2 slabs that a customer of mine just picked out. And the reason why they love these slabs is they love the distress in the wood here that will fill all this in with epoxy. They love this crack. We'll fill that in with epoxy. Same here and same here. And then we'll put a river right down here. And it'll be a beautiful winding river that this particular river I think is going to be blue. You get to pick your slabs, so when you get your slab in your place, your table, your countertop, whatever it is, you know what you're getting. This is where our wood is dried and flattened and ready for me to bring customers to show beautiful slabs. We can take pictures and send them to you, or we bring clients here. The first thing we have to do is we have to make sure these slabs are flat. See this? That means that slab is not flat. But when we're done with this machine, that slab will be perfectly flat. It's absolutely imperative that all tables or any furniture with this on there is perfectly flat. This is what a slab looks like when it comes out of the kiln. You see all these marks on here. These are all the marks of the water coming out of the piece of wood in the kiln and creating this kind of not so nice look. You'll see when he's done skimming the top of this, making it smooth, the wood will start to come to life. Where it's flattened and all the good, beautiful wood is underneath, all the distress. Look how beautiful the wood starts. Every single slab that we buy, that we use for making tables or any furniture, has to go through this process, or we would have dwarf lumber. All the wood has to be not only flattened from the backside, which is the starting point, then we flip it over and we have to flatten it from the top side. So when we're done, the slab will be equal in thickness from all points of the slab. Is a very expensive combination of planer and sander. This is where we bring our big wide slabs that can take a slab up to 50 inches wide. This is essential to making a table flatter. So we take it from the flattening machine which you saw prior. Now we take it over here to the planer, and we make it, not only do we plane it more flatter, but we also put a nice sand in it. Then we finish up the rest of our sanding with a shot. example of two slabs we just received yesterday. These slabs are going to make up one table, and we're going to use both slabs to make up this table. So when the slabs come to us, we store them in a nice dry place where we get 68 to 70 degrees, so there'll be no warpage on the slabs. And that puts us in a position to when we start to build, we'll call our customer and show them how we propose to cut the slabs. And then we start the process of doing the epoxy pours, or, you know, we got to fill all this in, make our river for this particular customer. Lots to do. This is the state we get the wood when it first comes in live edge. There's lots of holes and marks in there that we fill in with epoxy, but we're not finished sanding. This particular customer wanted to leave on the bark because they really liked it. A lot of people do not like the bark, so we're in the process of sanding this down. When we start to build, we'll call our customer and we'll ask them or show them how we propose to cut the slabs. And we start to take off all the bark by using some chisels and some of our power hand tool equipment. And we start to take that off, but we take it off in a way where we try to leave the essence of the live edge without, you know, we don't want it to be too smooth and we don't want it to be too rough. Then we take all of the cracks that are in there and we fill them in with either a clear or a black epoxy. And we just kind of smooth out all the top and get a rougher sanding done before we pour the epoxy.
The process begins with the customer first choosing the type of wood and the slabs that they would like to use as the wooden part of the table. From there we then chose the color of the epoxy.
And if they want custom samples, we can mix up different custom samples for them to be sure that they can kind of visualize and see exactly what they're going to get in there. We can make any color under the sun. We have everything from liquid dyes to powdered pigments. You can go from clear down to the starkest opaque color and kind of in between translucent. You can embed different types of stones or crystals, achieve all different effects. So quite commonly we'll talk with the customer and kind of get a grip on what they're looking for and also kind of help guide them through it. A lot of times they might not fully understand the array of options. So yeah, we can show them different things and customize it what they like best. This here is one of our pouring tables. This is a table that we have perfectly leveled out and it's covered in what's called HDPE. It's a type of plastic that the epoxy doesn't stick to. So what we'll do is we'll form up all of our river tables on a pour table like this. Once we have the table prepped for the form, we'll silicone around the edges where we want the seal to be, and using clamping pressure we'll clamp it into place, which will create a seal with the silicone to this plastic, and then we will start our pouring process.
So we do it in several pours. You can actually pour it up to close to 2 inches thick at one time, so you can actually achieve the entire depth with different colors all at once. We then use a blowtorch or a heat gun to remove the bubbles from the epoxy, ensuring that there's good adhesion and that you won't have any bubbles in your finished product. The epoxy generally takes 2 to 3 days to fully cure. Once it is fully cured, we'll then remove it from the mold, send it through a drum sander to ensure that it's perfectly flat. We then sand it to a high grit finish to get a nice smooth surface, and then brought it back to life with a beautiful top coat of some catalyzed lacquer.
This is where all the epoxy magic happens on one of these pouring stations.
Well, here's where it happens where we put the top coats on the tables. If you look inside here, there's a suction mechanism on top of this. It sucks all the air out into the roof of the building, and it allows no droplets of the spray to get on the table, which can make it pitted and just not a smooth finish. So this is essential in making a beautiful custom river table. We use mostly a conversion varnish Very, very good hardcore finish. They use it in restaurants. You can put nail polish remover on this and it won't wreck it. Between each finish, we sand it down and get out so it's smooth and clean, and then we spray it again, and it's even more beautiful the second time we spray it. So we put on anywhere from 2 to 3 coats of this conversion varnish. It takes 45 days for molecular adhesion that the 2 coats come together, and when it's done, it's hard as nails. We make incredible crates. We've studied it. We know the right crate to make. We make it out of 3/4 inch plywood. Really straight 2x4s with styrofoam and bubble wrap and you name it. We do it. Because if that thing drops, it has a very high chance of not breaking. We have no control once it leaves our shop. We don't know what those guys are going to do on those trucks. And things are stacked on top of it. So we've only had a couple come back in all these years.
Once the item is crated, I get the length, the width, the height, and the weight. I contact the customer to make sure that we're delivering to the right place, and then we call a freight broker, and that broker goes to several different freight companies and comes back with the best quote. When the crates get picked up, we get a tracking number from the freight carrier, and I communicate that to the customer so that they can follow the package across the country if they need to. And we also have the freight company call the day before to make an appointment when they're going to deliver the table. They give the customer a 2-hour window because some of these crates are very heavy and they need some help. In a former life, I worked for BP, and I spent 3 years as the manager of a foreign flag shipping fleet and 10 years as the logistics director for BP's Alaskan crude oil, which at the time was a little over 1 million barrels a day. So I'm fairly familiar with shipping things here and there. We have shipped from here to Oregon, Florida, Colorado, Texas, New York State, and New Hampshire, and all over the South and the Southwest. So pretty much anywhere in the United States.
It's nothing like the real thing. Cost extra, looks nicer, it's more authentic, and you're gonna love it.
To learn more, to get a cost estimate, or to order online, go to ChagrinValleyCustomFurniture.com. You can also call Sheldon Myeroff at 440-591-5511 or email shell@ChagrinValleyCustomFurniture.com. Thanks for watching.